Have you been waiting for the next iPad to drop? Well, you're not alone because everyone's asking the same question. When is the iPad 12th generation coming out? And more importantly, what new features are we actually going to get with it? Today, I'm going to break down everything we know about the upcoming iPad 12th generation. We'll talk about the expected release date, the new chip that's coming, and whether it's actually worth waiting for. But before we dive into all the juicy details about what's coming next, let me take you through a quick history lesson. This will help you understand exactly where we are right now with the current iPad lineup. Trust me, this context is going to make everything else make so much more sense. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's get into it. Let's start by talking about where we are right now with the iPad. Going back to 2022, that's when Apple gave us the current design of the iPad that we have today. And honestly, it was quite a good design update at the time. Apple finally updated the regular iPad to look like all the other current iPads in their lineup. You know, with those flat edges and the more modern look that we see on the iPad Air and iPad Pro. But there were definitely a few issues with that 2022 iPad that really annoyed people. The biggest problem was that it only worked with the first generation Apple Pencil. And here's the kicker. You needed this weird adapter to make it work properly. I mean, come on, Apple, that was just confusing for most people. Plus, the price had jumped up to around $450, which was really expensive for what was supposed to be the budget iPad option. A lot of people were not happy about that price increase, and I totally get why. But things started to change in 2024, and this is where it gets interesting. That's when Apple finally dropped the price down to a much more reasonable $329. And if you shopped around during Black Friday deals or other sales throughout the year, you can actually get it for even less than that. I remember seeing deals where you could pick up the iPad for under $300, which was honestly a really good deal. Now, just last year in 2025, Apple gave us another update to the iPad. This time, they put a new chip inside it, the A18 chip. That's the current iPad that we have right now, and it's actually pretty solid for most people's needs. But here's where things get really exciting for the future. We've been hearing rumors and reports about some major upgrades coming to the next iPad, and the biggest upgrade that everyone's talking about is going to be the chip. According to multiple sources, that chip is going to be upgraded to the A18. Yes, you heard that right, the same A18 chip that we have in the iPhone 16. I'm talking about the one with the 6-core CPU and the 4-core GPU. For most people who use the basic iPad for everyday tasks, this is going to be more than enough power. You'll be able to handle web browsing, streaming videos, light gaming, and productivity tasks without any issues. But here's the really big advantage that comes with getting the A18 chip. This chip was actually one of the first chips that Apple designed specifically to handle Apple Intelligence. So what does this mean for you? It means that the new iPad 12th generation will finally get Apple Intelligence abilities. Think about all those cool AI features that iPhone users have been enjoying. Things like improved Siri, better writing assistance, and smarter photo organization. All of that will finally be coming to the regular iPad. Plus, with the A18 chip, we're also going to get 8 gigs of RAM. The current iPad with the A16 chip only has 6 gigs of RAM. That extra 2 gigs might not sound like much, but it's going to make a real difference. You'll notice better multitasking, apps will stay in memory longer, and everything will just feel smoother overall. This is honestly going to be a really great upgrade, and I'm genuinely excited about it. Now, let's talk about what's probably not going to change. For the actual design of the iPad, the USB-C port, the speed of charging, the speakers, and things like that, probably nothing is going to change. We're literally just swapping out the A16 chip for the A18 chip, and that's going to be it. So don't expect any major design changes or improvements to the battery life. It's probably going to look exactly the same as the current iPad, but with that powerful new chip inside. Let's talk about pricing because I know that's what a lot of you are wondering about. With the A18 chip going inside this iPad, it's probably going to keep the same storage options. So the minimum amount of storage will likely stay at 128 gigs for the baseline version. But here's the good news, the price will most likely stay the same too. Right now, you can pick up the current iPad for about $350 from Apple, and once the new one has been out for about 6 months, you'll probably see it on sale during Black Friday and other special deals. I expect you'll be able to pick it up for less than $300 from retailers like Amazon, Best Buy, and others. Just don't expect to get it for that price directly from Apple when it first launches. Now, you might be wondering why Apple is going with the A18 chip instead of the newer A19. Well, this is actually completely normal for Apple. They always put a chip that's 1 or 2 generations behind in the regular iPads. Just like how we got the A16 in the current iPad when the A18 was already available in iPhones. This helps Apple keep the costs down and maintain that lower price point for the budget iPad. And this actually gives us a clue about when the new iPad might be released. Right now, we're on the A19 generation with the latest iPhones. If the new iPad gets the A18, that would only be 1 generation behind. But Apple typically likes to have at least 2 generations of difference between their latest iPhone chips and the regular iPad chips. They haven't done just a 1 generation difference since around 2015 or 2016. So what does this mean for the release date? Well, it probably means we're going to have to wait until Apple releases their A20 chips. That will likely happen around September time, which is when Apple usually announces its new iPhones. Once the A20 comes out, then the A18 will be 2 generations behind, which fits Apple's usual pattern. So I'm going to say that the new iPad 12th generation will probably come out around September or October of this year. I know a lot of you are probably disappointed by this because it means waiting a bit longer, but I think this timing actually makes sense from Apple's perspective. We've been hearing that at Worldwide Developer Conference 2026, Apple is going to announce iPad OS 27. There are also going to be major updates to Siri and Apple Intelligence features. I think Apple wants to release this new iPad when all that software is ready and polished. When Worldwide Developer Conference happens this summer, we'll get the beta versions of the new software. But by September or October, everything will be stable and ready for regular users. This way, Apple can launch the new iPad with the A18 chip and all the Apple Intelligence features working perfectly from day one. It wouldn't make sense for Apple to release the iPad now with Apple Intelligence capabilities that won't actually work for another 5 or 6 months. So while the wait might be a bit frustrating, I think the timing will work out better for everyone. You'll get a more complete and polished experience when the iPad finally does launch. Plus, by that time, Apple will have worked out any bugs or issues with the Apple Intelligence features. The other thing to consider is that waiting until September or October might actually get you a better deal. By then, the current iPad with the A16 chip will probably see some price drops as Apple clears out inventory. So if you don't need the Apple Intelligence features, you might be able to save some money on the current model. So that's everything we know about the iPad 12th generation so far. To recap, we're looking at the same design with a major chip upgrade to the A18. You'll get Apple Intelligence features, 8 gigs of RAM, and much better performance overall. The price will probably stay around $350, and the release date is likely September or October. Now I want to hear from you. Are you excited about the next generation iPad? Are you planning to get one when it comes out, or are you happy with what you have now? Maybe you're thinking about picking up the current iPad while it's still available. Drop a comment below and let me know what you're thinking. If this video helped you understand what's coming with the iPad 12th generation, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel and lets me know you want to see more content like this. And if you want to stay updated on all the latest Apple news, reviews, and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and peace out.